everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat. AR Farina. Today, still in Sense and Sensibility land, today we're going to talk about one of the two major villains of the piece. And her name is Fanny Dashwood. So, as you may remember from the story of Sense and Sensibility, we have the Dashwood sisters, who, there are three, not just two, regardless of what some movie versions may tell you, Eleanor and Marianne and Margaret Dashwood, and they have an older brother, John, who is married to Frances Dashwood. So she goes by Fanny Dashwood, and she is a monster. So John is just kind of a boob. He's not really the villain of the piece. He's easily led. He doesn't understand anything about himself. He and his dad had some kind of a relationship, but he is, his mom died. He's got these stepsisters or half sisters. He's got a stepmom who's not that much older than him, really, and everything is just because of the way that it was done. So everything is left to John. But the dad made John promise that he would take care of his wife and the girls. Well, so as that unfolds, and he's like, well, of course, they get to stay in the house, and they get to do this, and they get to do that. And so every time he starts to say, well, this is what I'm going to do, Fanny completely manipulates him and says, well, think of our son, and think of this, and you're not going to deny him his thing. And of course your father didn't really mean that. And seriously, it's like just a few pages. And in the scope of a few pages, he went from letting them stay in their house to giving them money to helping them get settled to really just helping them move. And that's pretty much it. And so off they go. And there's like some distant cousin who agrees to take the sister, to take the mom and the girls in. And she is awful. And then the thing is she doesn't disappear. She keeps popping back up like a bad penny. And she's now Mrs. Dashwood, right? So because John Dashwood is now the head of the family, and they live in the palatial estate and all of this. So Mrs. Dashwood, who we think of as Mrs. Dashwood, who is Eleanor and Marianne and Margaret's mother, she's now sort of become like the, like almost like the Dashwood mom, right? But she's not really, because she's, she's a stepmother. And so she's really just sort of pushed to the side. And every time Fanny shows up, she is like vicious. And she's backhanded, and her words bite. And she's literally kicked her mother-in-law and her sister-in-laws all out on their own. She does not care what happens to them. She doesn't care. She just assumes someone will take care of them. It's not her responsibility. She doesn't care, even though it's totally her responsibility. And they had plenty of money before, and now they have more money now. And they have one son, and she just wants everything to go to him. And she really wants it for herself, and she's just terrible. And then, of course, the punchline to it all is Edward, who we talked about previously, Edward Ferrars. That was her name. She was Frances Ferrars before she became Fanny Dashwood. So, Edward's her brother, so of course she hates that too. And she obviously doesn't want Edward to get with Eleanor either. So she just does everything she can do to break people up. She's just a monster. It's like her whole reason for being is to ruin people's lives. And it's really, man, it's awful. She's terrible. And the thing that makes her bad is it isn't just that she is doing these things, but like she finds joy in it. There's like this level of sadism that she has that it's really on full display. And it's definitely not women helping women in this, and not for Fanny Dashwood. It's every woman for herself. This is her family now. She's going to be Mrs. Dashwood. That's what she wants. She wants to be this. She doesn't want, like essentially Mrs. Dashwood has become like the Dowager Dashwood, and she's like 40 years old. But that's how she's being treated. Like she's put out to pasture, and it's just absurd. And it's all Fanny's fault. Like John, if it were just up to John, if it were just John, his sisters would never leave their house. They'd never have, and of course, then there'd be no books. There'd be no adventure. They'd have no room to grow. There'd be nothing. So that's the one trick too about villains in Austen, and Fanny in particular. While they're awful, they also make the story happen. And when we talk in the next episode, when we talk about Willoughby, the other villain of the piece, he definitely makes things go. And So that's the interesting thing about a villain. Like Fanny is a terrible, awful, garbage person, but without a really good villain, right? There's no good story. It's just a bunch of ladies sitting around. That would be the book. And nobody wants that, right? You need to have something happen. And so you need a baddie, a real good baddie that you can hate too. You need one to make things go. So we definitely have that.